Greetings everybody. So here we are starting with a new series where we'll cover Microeconomics by Daron Acemoglu, David Leibson and John A. List. Okay, so in total, there are 18 chapters in this book of microeconomics, and for the students who have opted BA program economics major Delhi University, they'll be having the first 10 chapters in the microeconomics second edition, like in their syllabus, first 10 chapters. So here I'm planning to cover the whole book, that is the first 18 chapters. It will be helpful for PG entrance examinations and as well as GATE economics, then what to say, JAM economics and all. So we are starting here for the first chapter of part 1, principles and practice of economics. Here it is a it's introductory chapter, nothing much in depth of syllabus and all. So first you can see a page where the first page consists of a question, starts with a question: is Facebook free? Okay, so Facebook may not take your money, but it does take your time by giving up some alternative use of that time. So we can speak of Instagram, as most of you are using Instagram. So for scrolling in Instagram, for posting in photos, in Instagram, it does not cost a penny, right? It is free, of course. But just imagine, yes, you need internet, you need to recharge your SIM and all, but other than that, we are speaking of Instagram itself or Facebook itself. For scrolling this Facebook or for posting any photos or stories, it does not require any money other than the price that you need to pay for recharging your SIM cards. So it is free. But imagine, it does take your time. The time that you spent on Instagram, say 1 hour a day or half an hour a day, you can use that time to study, or to read any novel, to dance, to study any new dance tips, or to cook any new recipe, like that. So you are giving up some alternative use. This alternative use can be dancing, music, watching a cinema, reading a novel, anything. It differs from person to person. So by giving up some time, some alternative use of that time, you scroll in Facebook, you watch Instagram and all. Okay, so it is not free. You're giving up your some other hobbies here. So this alternate use varies from person to person. Economists study that choices that people make from big decisions, that is, it can be your marriage, it can be your career, it can be you migrating to some other places for your higher education or for your job. So from such big decisions to daily decisions like logging into Facebook or to drink a tea or coffee today. Okay, so here the focus is on cost and benefits involved. Okay, if you are planning for a trip to Darjeeling, or you can buy a new bicycle, you just calculate like what you prioritize. Like you prioritize by calculating the cost and benefits of choosing one, which gives you more mental happiness, which is more profitable, which is more good for you. Okay, that is how you make decisions. So the first chapter, principles and practices of economics. Okay, first is the scope of economics. In total, there are 6 parts in this chapter. The first part discusses the scope of economics. Economics involves for more than money. Okay, this is not money what we study in economics or what we discuss in economics. It is the choices that human behavior, that a human makes. Economists study all human behavior from person's decision to lease a new car to the speed driver chooses to wear or not wear a seatbelt while driving the car. So what economics is about is not just about money, it is about the choices that a human makes. Okay, the human behavior is studied here. So this choice, not money, is the unifying feature of all things economists study. All human behaviors are outcome of his choices. Okay. Next is economic agents and economic resources. An economic agent is an individual or group that makes choices. For example, let's speak of a consumer. Consumer chooses to eat a bhatura or a dosha. It is his choice. A parent chooses to enroll her children in public school or a private school. A student chooses to attend his classes or to skip them. Sorry. A citizen chooses whether or not to vote or which candidate to support. Okay, like that, all these things. And again, economic agents are two types. They can be individual or they can be group. So we discussed what individuals do here. Next is, speaking of a group, a government, like what policy to implement for the welfare of its citizens. An army, how to deal the issues in border. A firm, a university, a political party, a labor union, a sports team, or a friends gang, a street gang, or anything like that. So all the decisions made by they make all of them make different kinds of decisions. So they are an economic agent. So an economic agent is an individual or group that makes choices. Sometimes economists simplify their analysis by treating these groups as a single decision maker, a government, a political party and all. There are numerous people, numerous economic agents within that particular political party or particular government, but in order to simplify the analysis, those are treated as a group, as a single decision maker, without worrying about the details of how the different individuals in the group contributed to the decision. Okay, some may have contributed much more. In a firm, some workers may have contributed only little, or for some days only they might have come for work. Some might have done, completed the 10 out of 10 part of their job. So that is it. As a symbol, they are considered as a single decision maker. Next is scarce resources. Those are things that people want where the quantity that people want exceeds the quantity that is available. Petroleum. Okay. That is a resource which is getting depleted. Not depleted, but yeah, the quantity is getting decreased as the wants are getting exceeded. A resource doesn't need to be luxurious to be scarce. So for scarce resources, we can say the examples of gold wedding bands, diamond rings, Coach handbags, then iPhones, triple chocolate fudge ice cream in some places. Like, if you pay, you'll get it, but then also it will be scarce. They won't be making it as much as, it will be just in few numbers only. It will be made, it will be produced. So those are luxurious. Of course, what I have said now is luxurious, but it does not need, a resource does not need to be luxurious to be scarce. During famine, the daily goods, daily commodities, rice, wheat, oil, everything can be scarce. Scarcity exists because people have unlimited wants in a world of limited resources. This is the main line of economics. If you have studied economics in your 11th and 12th classes, this is the thing. People have unlimited wants, but the resources are limited. The world does not have enough resources to give everyone everything they want for free. Again, it's not only about commodities, it is also about time. If you have 24 hours, in that how much you will spend in scrolling Instagram, how much in reading. So how scarce resources are allocated in a modern economy. That is what this leads to. Time, it is you having only 24 hours. Say you need 5 or 6 hours. Some it will be for some it will be 10 hours for sleeping. And other than that, after that you'll be having 14 hours. How you will manage these 14 hours? How you will allocate these 14 hours into your daily activities? So you can compare the cost and benefits of the alternative options and make the choices that are best for you. Next is definition of economics. Economics is the study of how agents choose to allocate scarce resources and how those choices affect society. Original choice and its multiple consequences for other people in the world. Okay, that is, economics is the study how agents choose to allocate scarce resources and how those choices, your choice to allocate 3 hours to reading and 4 hours to driving, say driving, then how these 4 hours of driving affect the society. You can, when a car is sold, it generates traffic congestion, it generates sales tax for the government. That sales tax can fund numerous projects for hospitals, highways, or like food schemes and everything. Then it can also generate a possibility of accident. Then there will be less availability of parking slots. There are more risk, right? So that is how your choice of buying a new car or driving for 4 hours affects the society. Your choice for reading a book, it will, if it's a good book, it will definitely increase your knowledge. You can help the society with that knowledge by teaching other students. They can get a job, or you can get a job. Your decisions in the workplace affects the firm, like that. Okay. Next is positive and normative economics. We say positive economic analysis, normative economic analysis. So positive economic analysis, it's an objective statement confirmed or tested with data. And normative economic analysis is something much more like a suggestive opinion or an advisory opinion. Okay, that is, understanding people's choices is practically useful for 2 key reasons. We studied here that economics studies the human behavior and the choices made by humans and its consequences. So basically the study of choices. So understanding people's choices is practically useful for 2 key reasons. That is, studying economics is useful for 2 key reasons. The one is, it describes what people actually do. Then it describes what people should do, or recommends what people, including society, should do. The first one, that is describing people, what actually they have did or what actually you do, is positive economic analysis. Okay. For instance, the prediction, no, not prediction, sorry. It deals with like what happened, like how much GDP, the GDP of a nation. It is confirmed with the data, right? Then the number of highways built by state government, built by the government this year. Everything like that. That is describing what has happened or predicting what will happen is referred to as positive economics. So the prediction, like in 2025, US households will invest about half of their retirement savings in the stock market. This forecast can be compared to future data and either confirmed or disproven. A prediction is eventually testable. Okay, that is after the 2025 we can test this prediction with the data, available data. So it is a part of positive economics. Okay. Or with the resources that India has now, we can predict like the GDP that will be generated the next year. And next year, with the passage of time, we can test with the data like was the prediction proved or disproved. So that is a part of positive economic analysis. Next is that the first one with economics is that it describes what people actually do, and the second one is to recommend what people or society should do, ought to do. That is normative economic analysis. So it is dependent on subjective judgments, that is personal feeling, taste, opinion and all. What people should do to decrease the population. It is a suggestive or advisory by the RBI that people should be more financially aware of how to handle their, they should study finance like that all, how to handle their retirement savings or whatever savings. When it comes in a tone of advising or suggesting, it is, when it have nothing to do with data, it is normative economic analysis. So eliminating risk comes at a cost. Riskless investments have a lower average rate of return than investments in stock. Eliminating risk comes at a cost. Economists find that investment portfolio that will deliver the economists find the investment portfolios that will deliver the level of risk that the worker wants. Like some or worker or client, like if you approach a financial advisor to know like where to invest your savings, in which mutual fund, in which stock, okay, and you will say that I'm not ready to risk all my money, or I'm ready to risk a little, or I don't want a risk. So according to your level of risk, in which portfolio you should invest will be delivered, will be suggested by the advisor. That is what the worker wants. Here the economist is dealing with what the worker wants. So this is called as prescriptive economics. That is when economic analysis is used to help individual economic agents choose what is in their personal best interest. That is how much risk you want. This type of normative economics is referred as prescriptive economics. So we studied 3 types of economic analysis. The first one is positive economic analysis, where what people actually do is studied, or what to say, anything which confirms or tested with data. So it can be prediction, because with the passage of time a prediction can be tested with data. Then we studied normative economic analysis, where it is a type of economic analysis that recommends what an individual or society should do, a suggestive or advisory. Then a part of normative economic analysis that is called as prescriptive economic analysis. So it is a prescription, an economic analysis which helps individual economic agents to choose what their personal best interest is for. Okay. Normative analysis also generates advice to society in general. Economists evaluate public policies, tax, regulations. That is, when a government policy is created, it creates both winners and losers. That is, when there is a law is passed for what? For protecting a wetland. It can affect in 2 sides. That is, the environmental regulation of protecting a wetland can benefit bird watchers. Okay, because migratory birds, it will help, in the environment side, that thing. But again, it harms the landowners who would like to develop the land. Because the wetland is protected, they can't construct anything either. So when it makes one happy, it makes one sad. Every policy is like that. So economists need to make some ethical judgment to conduct normative analysis. They must make ethical judgments when evaluating policies that make one group worse off, so another group can be made better off. Okay. People have opposing views on desirability of a policy. So an ethical judgment have to be made by them there. Next is microeconomics and macroeconomics, the main division of economics. So you'll be having macro in the next sem, in the second sem, then in the fourth sem, then in the sixth sem, I guess. The odd sems are for micro. So microeconomics is the study of how individuals, households, firms and government makes choices, whereas macroeconomics is a study of economy as a whole. In micro, it is studied, as the word say, micro, small, how the choices of individuals affect the prices, affect the allocation of resources, affect the well-being of other agents. In macro, it is the economy as a whole. So the growth rate of a country's total economic output, inflation rate, unemployment rate, all these are considered there. Microeconomics is a small piece of an overall economy, like the carbon emission from, it is an example, so carbon emission from coal, oil plants, then other fossil fuels, it will lead to global warming. Microeconomics design new government policies that attempt to reduce the use of these fuels, that is carbon tax. And when coming to macro design government policies that improve overall economic performance. Explains recession. During 2007-2009 financial crisis, housing prices plummeted, banks failed. So it was macroeconomists who explained like what happened at that time. It was their job to explain why the economy was contracting and to recommend policies, again to recommend policies that would bring it back to life. Okay, so I'm done with this video now. We'll in the next video we'll continue and we'll complete this chapter 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 and 1.5. It is very easy. We are discussing here in the next part the 3 principles of economics in detail. 3 principles like optimization, then equilibrium, then you have empiricism. So these 3 principles will be discussed in detail in next class. Till then, happy learning.